hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Howard Young Urgent Care. Get in, get out, get well.
Piece of the Reformation is in Rhinelander. We'll hear about a local church's connection to Martin Luther.
Plus, political spending in some races is higher than ever. We'll hear which side is benefiting from bigger donors.
And a local Humane Society is in need of help because of overcrowding. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Conrad Sapinski.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 6. I'm Dan Hagan.
And I'm Jessica Jukic. October 31st marks an important day in the Protestant faith. 505 years ago, on this day, Martin Luther, a German monk, nailed 95 statements to the door of All Saints Cathedral in Wittenberg, Germany. That day, also on All Hallows Eve, the day before All Saints' Day, eventually started the Protestant Reformation. Pastor Schultz of Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church says that the Catholic Church did not like his comments.
Luther had discovered from his study of Scripture that what the church was teaching and what was in Scripture were two different things. And he said we need to return to the gospel, that we are saved by God's grace alone, through faith alone, in Jesus Christ alone.
Pastor Schultz shares that Luther's move eventually developed a following.
After God used him to uncover the gospel, he also used him to defend the gospel and then to spread the gospel.
Luther's followers would break apart from the Catholic Church and eventually form branches of Protestantism like Lutheranism. Zion's Church also has a stone that comes from the historic church in Wittenberg, Germany. The artifact can be seen by appointment.
Well, Conrad, I remember a lot of Halloweens where it was snowing, but it is really nice today.
Yeah, we're on that nice warming trend right now. It's beautiful outside. Perfect trick-or-treating weather. I don't know if you guys are going out there. I know you're looking a little festive right now. Perfect for that. But taking a look outside, temperatures were warm. Lots of 60s outside earlier today. We had a high of 64 degrees. Wow, it feels like we've backtracked by a month and a half. It was gorgeous outside. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures across the whole state were well above average. Our average high for this time of year should be around 47 degrees with an average low of around 29. So we are well above that today, and we're actually going to be above that the next several days. Right now, the sun is starting to set, and temperatures are cooling off. 52 right now in Rhinelander, 50 in Tomahawk. A couple of 40s are just around the corner. So the next 30 minutes, we will see a lot more 40s outside. Like I said, mostly sunny skies, so it was great. Lots of sunshine, barely any cloud cover throughout the whole state. We had a little bit of showers by that border of Illinois and Wisconsin, close to Chicago, but all that is lingering away. Dew points are also low in the 20s and 30s, so that means it's feeling comfortable outside, not as sticky as it usually does when it rains. But temperatures tonight will continue to drop for trick-or-treating, so don't forget a sweater as we start to hover in those mid-30s. Dan?
Thanks, Conrad. Heart attack deaths had been steadily declining for decades, but that trend reversed since the COVID-19 pandemic. As the number of COVID infections surged, deaths from heart attacks rose sharply as well, with adults ages 25 to 44 experiencing the most significant increases. Fatal heart attacks in that age bracket soared 30% over what was predicted. New research suggests the possibility that COVID-19 could trigger or accelerate coronary artery disease. The scientists said more research has to be done to pinpoint risks, but they did say individuals who were vaccinated were 200 times less likely to have a stroke than those who didn't.
Tim Michaels is speaking out against the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. If elected, Michaels says he would consider breaking up the DNR. Earlier this month, during the only debate between Michaels and Democratic Governor Tony Evers, Michaels said that the DNR was, quote, close to being broken. Days later, Michaels suggested breaking the DNR into two parts, one for the business side and one that serves hunters and sportsmen. There have been at least 4 proposals to split up the agency in the past. Former DNR Secretary George Meyer argues splitting up the agency would cost more money and provide less services. The U.S. Supreme Court could end any consideration of race in college admissions. The justices are weighing cases that challenge affirmative action policies at UNC, Chapel Hill, and Harvard University, with conservative members expressing skepticism about whether it's legal. Liberal justices, who are in the minority, defended the use of race in admissions, citing the importance of diversity on campus and the challenge of achieving that goal without any consideration of race. The Supreme Court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, will hear back-to-back oral arguments in this case. The arguments against affirmative action are being brought by a group called Students for Fair Admissions, led by conservative activist Ed Blum.
Republican-leaning groups spent a record amount of money on political campaigns already. Republican outside groups have spent 4 times more money to campaign for statewide and legislative candidates in Wisconsin this election season. That's 4 times more than Democrats. The Wisconsin Democracy Campaign said the outside money has hit a record $37 million so far for state offices, including governor, attorney general, and the state legislature.
The man convicted of robbing a Wausau bank in May was sentenced to 10 years in police supervision today. Tommy Pittman pled no contest to robbing a financial institution on September 6th. Back on May 20th, Wausau police responded to Wood Trust Bank on East Bridge Street about a report of a robbery which was determined to be committed by Pittman. He was later found and arrested on May 26th in Freeport, Illinois. His sentence includes 3 years of initial confinement and 7 years of extended supervision. The Forest County Humane Society rescues and rehabilitates dogs and cats. They also help them find forever homes.
But sometimes too many can be brought in, which can be overwhelming for staff members. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdul Kawi joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Mohammed.
Thanks, Dan. The Humane Society is currently taking care of over 100 pets at the moment. And with it being overcrowded, it can be difficult for animals to have space to move around.
There's been so many animals coming in on a daily basis.
The Forest County Humane Society is experiencing an overflow of pets in their facility, a problem that began with COVID.
A lot of people went back to work and couldn't keep their animals, and it hasn't stopped yet.
With over 100 dogs and cats being held.
Very sweet little guy.
Having a place for them to go outside and play becomes an issue.
They all need room to get out and exercise, and then have room to, to work on. Some of them come in with behavioral issues or different problems like that. So spacing, and it's just highly crucial for the animal's well-being.
Overcrowded space isn't the only problem. There is also a small amount of volunteers, which makes day-to-day tasks more difficult.
We have worked with the local newspapers. You access all social media outlets. We've just been trying word of mouth, everything we can possibly do to try to, to not only let people know that we're at max capacity, but try to get help.
Finding a good home for pets is the Humane Society's main goal. Ross and her crew hope that eventually the number of animals will become less clustered.
Every day that they're here is just one more day that they have to be confined to a condo, that they don't need to be in. They need to be in a good home. It's just crucial for their little lives.
For more information on what you could do to help, you can visit forestcountyhumanesociety.org. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Mohammed Abdul Kawi, Newswatch 12.
Thanks, Mohammed.